Good evening. Winter is upon us, and my promise to you is to keep you warm, captivated, and enthralled by the discussions emanating from this program. I'm Guthrie Manyuki. Tonight on the program, we are joined by the President of Zimbabwe Football Association, Mr. Ngombile Magwizi, to talk about his experiences as the man at the helm of national football thus far. Mr. Magwizi, welcome to the program.
Good evening, Mkoma. I'm happy to be here. Good evening, viewers. Of course, I'm delighted to have this opportunity once again to engage with you and, of course, with all the viewers that watch this channel.
You don't have stress. You look to be very fine fettle.
Well, there's a strong team that I work with, the executive committee which I work with, 2 vice presidents and the other committee members. I mean, they are very, very supportive. We are working together as a team. Of course, I am the figurehead of the institution, and so I do come to these engagements, but there is a lot of people behind me that are doing quite a lot of work. And it does help, perhaps, taking away the stress that you're referring to. Yeah.
Mr. Magwizi, from my vantage point, there is nothing negative to report about your personal health. But I would like to find out, on the issues that pertain to the financial health of the Zimbabwe Football Association. How healthy are the finances of ZIFA?
That's a very interesting question, and of course, an intrusive one. But of course, as part of our values, it's important that we share all the information with all our stakeholders. In July, there will be a half-year report that will speak to the financial standing of ZIFA. A month ago, we did issue out, a few weeks ago, we issued out our 100-day report that sort of gave an overview of the work we've been doing since we went into office end of January. As it stands, I think we have quite a number of financial needs. The transformation that we seek to achieve is quite extensive, but of course, it's one step at a time. But while you are looking at that broad framework of transformation that we seek, there is also the continuous needs of an organization. Those activities, those programs that you cannot do away with, especially the camps that the teams have to go to. Recently, we had the under-20s and we had the under-17s. The under-17s going to Namibia, and we had the under-20s going to Rwanda. Those you cannot avoid them. So there is expenditure in that regard. You're also looking at, we have the national teams, the men's national teams that are going to, one is going to Kosafa, Bloemfontein, and the other team is going to Morocco for friendly matches. Again, those are key activities which you can't do away with because they form part of a broader strategy in respect of building our national teams and strengthening them. Now, those activities, of course, they need to be funded. When we got into office, of course, we're still under restricted funding from FIFA. And restricted funding means that you have not yet been cleared fully. Right now, we are finalizing our audits, which audits should be submitted to FIFA in June. And at which point, we are hopeful that we will be taken off restricted funding and we can start receiving funds to activate the various programs we desire to activate for ZIFA.
Mm-hmm. And that's a very interesting point, because most people wonder where your finances come from, apart from the funding that comes from FIFA. Because traditionally, we've been accustomed to ZIFA raising part of its revenues from match day. And Zimbabwe has not been playing at home, and the crowds have not been good. So where have you been getting this funding?
Yeah, so the situation is obviously not pretty at the moment, because We do not recover any revenues, as it were, as you have just mentioned that originally you would be guaranteed that on match day you can recover a few dollars. But as it stands, obviously all our activities are taking money out of the association, and we now have to rely on, firstly, if FIFA does give us money, I'll come to the monies that come from FIFA and break them down for you. But we then have partners that come on board. We, of course, approach the government for assistance. But the issue is we need to commercialize, of course, as an association, because the bulk of the associations across the world, their revenues or their support base really is premised on the corporate, the partners that come on board. Let me just speak quickly to what, on an annual basis, accrues from FIFA. FIFA does give every member association 1.2 million, $1,250,000 annually. This is for operating expenses. Now, that money is really to cover the football association, your salaries and your basic expenses. That is guaranteed almost on a yearly basis. And CAF, they also do another amount of $250,000, which they give annually to the association. So in total, funds that come from these two bodies accrue to about $1.5 million. So this is the baseline, the amount that comes to the association that can be used for your salaries, your rentals. But if you don't have any other revenues, you then use this even for competitions if you have no other sources. Now, if you look at it this way, one trip where the national team, say men's national team, say goes to South Africa to play Benin and goes to Nigeria, you're looking at an average cost of about $500,000 for that one trip. So if our national team, men's, does 3 of those, you have already spent the full budget just on the trips. Let alone you have the salaries, you have the rentals, you have the vehicles, the admin expenses. But we don't only have one national team. We have the female national team. We have the younger groups, the under-20s, the under-17s, the under-15s. All of them need support from the association. Hence, there is a huge need for resources to ensure that the programming does indeed move forward. So as it stands, we started our tenure just after end of January. And at that point, I think most corporates had already maybe put their budgets and approved them. So at this stage, the people we are engaging, we are looking at
sorry, I have to cut it short. It's like you're taking words out of my mouth. That's exactly where I wanted to go. But we'll go there after the break.
Sure, thank you.
Please join us in the second segment as we discuss the road thus far taken by the Zimbabwe Football Association new executive, led by its president, Mr. Ngobile Magwise. Welcome back. To those who are just joining us this week, we are in discussion with the president of ZIFA, Mr. Ngobile Magwise, and we are looking at his experiences so far as he tries to put his footprint on the Zimbabwean football story. Mr. Magwise, when you were elected into office, you were alluding to the fact that most of the companies had already done their budgets. And even if you were going to approach corporate sponsors and other stakeholders who could have been able to chip in, it meant that it wasn't going to happen at that particular time. But people would want to say, at that particular time, when you were elected, just on the eve of the ZIFA elections, there was one corporate led by its own leader, which said that whoever gets into office, particularly if it is Mr. Magwise, would be able to give them 10 million US dollars to bankroll the programs. Has that man come? Because people would want to say you're talking about 1.5 million US dollars a year and already you're skint. So, did that man come? Or Mr. President?
I think for the record, we have not received any amount of money, more so an amount that amounts to 10 million US dollars. We have not as an association. But of course, we would be very grateful if a donor or a sponsor comes through. We have the processes within the association where we will sign the necessary agreements that govern how those resources should be used. So at this stage, of course, we have not yet. I would want to believe, with corporate governance, some of these institutions, they need to go through processes. The communication to that regard, I think we also saw it on social media. But as it stands, I think for the record, I think we have not received the amount that you're referring to. But we continue to speak to various corporates. We do engage at various levels, and we've presented numerous proposals, and we're quite excited on the prospects. Our head of commercial, Mark Rack, has hit the ground running, and I'm looking at a situation where in the next 2 to 3 months, we should have signed on a number of corporates, a number of partners to work with us. As it stands, we have done a lot of progress. We did, sign an agreement with UNFP, which of course is looking at issues at the grassroots, where we are looking at women's rights and how we can work together to stop gender-based violence. So those are key relationships. But we've also have organizations like Better Brands who have been very consistent in helping the national teams with the kids. So that's very exciting. And we have many other partners that have come on board. But as I had mentioned earlier, there is key programming that, of course, requires financial injection, which will see to us, be able to fund our air tickets, funding accommodation for the children, funding, your salaries on a regular basis. So those are the key areas that we would want to attend to.
Fantastic.
Yes.
What I can see here is someone who is talking about, confidently talking about how attractive the project SIFA is. And I'd like to believe that the attractiveness does not only lie in terms of securing lots of corporates on board, but also in luring the talent that has got connection to Zimbabwe, and that is Zimbabwean. We saw you with the national team, senior men's national team coach, traveling to the United Kingdom, where you had various meetings, and we have seen some of the implementation being done, on this COSAFA team, where we've got some of these youngsters, plying their trade in the United Kingdom, being mentioned, being named into this COSAFA team, which is more of your B Warriors team. So, can we look forward to a new era where we have a cosmopolitan Zimbabwe, or where we've got cosmopolitan Zimbabwe men's soccer teams, like what used to happen immediately after we attained independence?
Yeah, thank you. I think the bottom line is giving every Zimbabwean an opportunity, every Zimbabwean who's talented, an opportunity to represent their country, wherever they are. As long as they are Zimbabwean, they must be given an opportunity to represent Zimbabwe. And that is exactly what this administration is seeking to do. If a Zimbabwean is in Zimbabwe and they are talented, they will be given a chance. If a Zimbabwean is in South Africa and they are talented, they will be given a chance. If a Zimbabwean is in England and they are talented, they will be given a chance. So talent identification is a key component of any successful FA. Very, very key. And to sustain that, you need therefore to have a strategy in place that ensures that you are able to scout effectively and to identify the talent effectively that can go on to represent the country. So the trip to England, of course, was a short-term, as part of our short-term strategy. I think there's the awareness that we have a commitment, a tournament in December, where we are participating in the AFCON. And one of the strategies was for the coach to strengthen his squad. And strengthening the squad meant that he had to watch more than 20 matches around the country, identifying potential talent that can, bolster his team. One of the issues was also to travel to England, also identify more talent. You'll agree with me that in terms of football, the standards in England, or rather in Europe, they are fairly respectable. So it was a low-hanging fruit to go and see and identify any potential talent. And he did that. Of course, what I must hasten to mention is that it's not automatic for someone to make it in the national team because they are in Europe. It's not automatic. They have to be good enough. They must be talented enough. And you can see it by the composition of our teams, the COSAFA one as well as the one that is going to Morocco, that there's a mixture. And we have confidence in the technical team. We have confidence in the coach. And as executive, we don't interfere. We are in the process of putting policies that will help govern them. But at the end of the day, we want the coach to take full responsibility of his team's performance. We want him to be able to answer when his KPIs are not met. A situation where a coach would then say, I did not succeed because I had interference from the executive or I had interference from other members of the secretariat, is unacceptable. So under this new administration, we're not going to have anything like that. We are looking at a situation where we empower the coach. We put policies in place that govern our scouting program. We put policies in place that govern our technical development program. And those policies should then allow the coach to get the best talent to put into our national teams, into a national team. But of course, the technical director is responsible for the other younger team, the under 20s, under 17s, and so forth. Of course, the policies will also be there in place to help him to achieve the broad objectives we have set as an association.
Sure. Please join us in the final segment as we wrap up this week's program, where we have been in discussion with the president of ZIFA, Mr. Ngobile Magwizi. Welcome back, and to those who are just joining us, this is the tail end of this week's program. Tonight, we have been discussing the actions that have been taken so far by the new ZIFA leadership led by Mr. Ngobile Magwizi and what the future holds. It has been exciting. And again, people, they look forward to the days and the months, years ahead. Mr. Magwizi, I'm also excited because I've been always a football fan. People that are happy when they see young people at the helm of organizations. You're young, and obviously we would expect that when you've got youth, then it means you exude confidence. Mr. Magwizi, this weekend, on Saturday, the two teams that have really changed the face of Zimbabwean football, Moors FC and Scotland FC, are playing at Ngoni Stadium. And obviously there is also an attempt to try and bring in a new culture in terms of how people should pay the fans, how they should pay to watch those matches. And this weekend we are seeing the trialing, I don't want to say completely an e-ticketing system, but I'd like to say a system that is aligned to digital ticketing, where Moors and Scotland, they've released their sets of tickets to their fans, and they're all sold out. Of course, I'm told that the ground, I think the maximum capacity is about 6,500.
Maybe 9.
Maybe 9. Yeah. No one has been really coming out to tell us the capacity. But let's say 10,000.
Yeah.
A lot of people are saying this is a good thing. But when you want to change a certain culture, it's difficult for people to just accept at the first instance that shift in culture. Do you believe that the PSL and other stakeholders have in place the instruments that will make sure that the protocols with regards to crowd control are going to be used effectively?
No, thank you very much for that. I think it's exciting to see what has been happening in the PSL. And of course, as well in Division 1, in Southern region, Central region, Eastern region, as well as Northern region. There is quite a lot of vibrancy in this space. And with this weekend, we have Moors playing Scotland. I think it's going to be a thrilling encounter for both teams. The leadership, I think, in PSL has been very clear with respect to what the protocols should be. I think we have those standards which are very clear, but we cannot be stagnant. We have to be progressive. So there's been discussions, of course, between ZIFA and PSL in respect of how we can better ourselves. One of the things that I think is apparent is the fact that now we're looking at how we can modernize the ticketing process for all our matches in the PSL and elsewhere. It is important to do pre-sales because it allows you to know the number of people you are anticipating. It allows you to plan for that crowd. I believe we have, I think, at least not more than 20 police officers there. We'll probably have another additional 40 marshals. But on assessment, I think the leadership of these two teams may even increase the number of people that will be manning the stadium on that particular day. So there is a journey that we have started together, and we continuously consult and improve the systems. But this has been quite remarkable to see that all the tickets have been sold out 2 days before the match. You know, it's remarkable. And that's the future. People should be able to buy season tickets going into the future. And of course, one area that we are also still working on is to make sure that even our refereeing can become better.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
We have the best referees handling our matches, and both parties who are involved in the contest, say the home team and the away team, both of them must come out happy to say this encounter was a fair encounter, because one of the ethos of FIFA is fair play. Yeah. Very, very important to ensure that there's fair play. And we are looking at ensuring that also our referees continue to improve. I must say that there is a number of areas where we have identified as the executive committee where we're still falling short, but it's a journey. We are progressively tweaking, our machine to make sure that it becomes flawless. We have not arrived. We've not arrived. We are still attending to certain issues. Some of them you realize the challenges as you try to progress, and you take note of them and you attend to them. But it's a progressive journey. It's a progressive journey. Perhaps one brick after another you continue to rise, and this is the support that we desire PSL members, affiliates, to support the vision that has been set by ZIFA to ensure that we can become one of the best FAs in the region and in Africa from all aspects of the game, whether it's refereeing, whether it's crowd control, whether it's match day experience. We can become the best in the region. And that's what is exciting. Those are the prospects that stand before us. And we have to, of course, look at it collectively and say, this is where we want to go, and we help each other.
So, Mr. Magwizi, because everyone is really excited by what is happening. It's a revolution.
Thank you.
So, are we likely to see ZIFA nudging the PSO to have more of these things where there's pre-match ticket selling?
Absolutely.
Because people are really excited.
Absolutely. I think that is the future. As I'm saying, that is the future. We have to be progressive. If we are going to be one of the best in the region, it means we have to embrace technology to make life easier for our fans, to ensure that people look forward to the match day experience. And this is exactly the path that we are on. Yes, we have to move on it step by step. But those are our priorities as we try and grow the game in Zimbabwe.
And lastly, Mr. Magwizi, the Diaspora Brigade, I want to call it the Diaspora Brigade, Are we likely to see, the government being able also to assist these guys, to those who would want, to have diplomatic passport and so forth? Because I know the other countries, they do that. Or it's a tough question for
Well,
you.
no, it's not. I can't answer on the issue of the for diplomatic passport because of course, that's the preserve of foreign affairs and of course the office of the president. But what I can assure you, which the government is already doing, is to ensure that any Zimbabwean who wants to get a Zimbabwean passport, who wants assistance to be able to come and represent their country, the assistance is there. In fact, I really want to applaud the registrar for the help, immense help. There are a lot of help that they've been giving ZIFA. Sometimes they've helped us in tough situations where players are required to travel the next day, and the registrar has made it possible. So I'm extremely grateful for the help that has been consistently coming to us. So any of the young Zimbabweans that are abroad who desire assistance, they have been rendered assistance. We have 2 currently in the country whom we are helping, who will be part of the team that will be participating in COSAFA, and they are getting assistance. Within a short space of time, the Registrar General is making sure it happens. So we are grateful to government for all the help that they're giving us. Grateful to Ministry of Sport because they're always there whenever we need assistance. They're always assisting. So we have good support. And any young people that are anywhere across the world who want to participate, they should be more than they're more than welcome to come through, and we'll be more than happy to assist.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's one Zimbabwe for all Zimbabweans.
Absolutely.
Mr. Magwizi, thank you for coming. Would like to invite you again after the publishing of the ZIFA audited accounts, so that we also look at some of the things that are coming out of there and the way forward. But we really appreciate your time.
Thank you so much. Thank you, viewers.
That's one Zimbabwe for every Zimbabwean. There can only be one Zimbabwe, and there can only be you. The only you and you. Good night.